Dear friends, we are still in the coronavirus pandemic crisis period. This global crisis is creating also a hell lot of difficulties. It affects all walks of life, and people in general are faced with this corona pandemic with the tremendous difficulties. Also, there are examples of resilience and courage. One of the groups that is very much affected by the coronavirus is our student community. Our student community is actually deprived of regular classes. They are actually having this homeschooling now. They are with their parents at home. But many scholars are saying that there are evidences that our children are under duress of stress. They are under anxieties and worries, and sometimes depression also is creeping in the minds of our kids, because at a younger age they are deprived of going to the schools. They are at home and deprived of their companions, their teachers, their peer group, whichever age is. Because the developmental psychology says the children are supposed to be with their companions in the younger age, so that a lot of give and take and cooperative learning takes place in their life. But they are deprived because of this coronavirus, because all of us know, as the government knows very well, that children are one of the most vulnerable groups, and therefore we cannot put them into trouble. Taking the risk of reopening the school must be very, very carefully studied, and a studied response after consultation of scholars and also people who matters, who are experts in the lives of the children, psychologists, and also health experts must be consulted, educationists must be consulted, parents and students must be consulted before we reopen the school. So since the children are at home deprived of the schooling classroom experience, and they are slowly feeling a type of stress and tension, I think it is better for us to reflect on how to overcome this tension in a better way. And we have plenty of mechanisms to overcome this stress and tensions. One of the best and effective means we have is a tested, time tested actually, more than 400 years of experience we have on having a wonderful tool called Examen of Consciousness. In the short form we call daily examen for children. I think it will help our children to overcome the difficulties and the problems they are confronted with today due to the external agent called the corona pandemic. Now, when we look at this examen, remember it is a very powerful method of checking on how well we are living out our life on a daily basis. It is a self-introspection, an inward journey all of us must go through. Not for a long time, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes is enough. But you should walk inside, deep inside of you, to see how well you are living your life daily. It is developed by St. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuit Society more than 400 years ago. The Examen invites us to reflect on how God has been present in our day, even in the midst of difficulties. Seemingly a darkened situation, Seemingly everything is negative. Apparently we feel that there is no hope. But remember, even in the midst of this darkness, this anxiety, this negativity, we have God who is so active. And therefore, Examen will ask us to get into the deeper silence and see how God is playing in our life, how God is leading us. One who gives us life, God, has also a purpose in our life. And therefore, we must try to experience the presence of God. We must understand that this examen is different from the examination of conscience. There are two different things. This is, we are talking about an examen of consciousness and awareness of ourselves. So children, I am going to explain to you this examen and its procedure for you. It can be adopted by anyone, whether it is college students or high school children or smaller children. We'll see what is the procedure. Number one, it is a tool for all of us to have more of self-awareness. Self-awareness. We must help our kids develop a habit of making a daily examen. I am sure that will give them a powerful tool of their personality development and their spiritual growth. Why? Why is it so? Because it not only teaches kids to come closer to God, but also it helps them to recognize the many manifestations of that presence of the Almighty, the presence of God. It also helps our kids to examine their own response to the situations, response to God. It can be better, it can be worse, in their thoughts, in their feelings, in their emotions, and in their actions. That is what examen will make them to understand. It teaches them to make this examination in a spirit of gratitude. Everything what we see all around us is a gift for us. We are living in an interconnected, interdependent, interlinked world, a web of life. So everything is a gift for us. And therefore what we need, my dear children, today is gratitude. And that gratitude is an attitude. An attitude of gratitude is very, very important for us in our daily life, in our success. So today and every day we must practice this in your lives. We enter in an atmosphere of silence. They say silent, silent. If you jumble up the words, we will hear another sound, another word, which is called listen. So in order to be a listening person, you must keep silence in your life. And therefore entering in an atmosphere of silence is very, very important to recognize the depth within. And the saddest part today is people do not keep silence today. In fact, everybody is afraid of silence. I think we need to have silence in our daily lives. So therefore take a few moments to quiet down, to recall what was happening to you, how God's presence you felt, how He accompanied you in every step of the way during the day, and to open yourself to His presence. Just reflect in the silence how closer you experience the presence of the Almighty. The second point is you must make a review of the events of the day in a spirit of gratitude. As I said, an attitude of gratitude is a sign of a great person. We must be grateful to God for everything that's happening in our lives. So, kindly move through your day, hour by hour, taking special note of its many small gifts, the warmth of a hand. Now you are at home, and the experience of your love, perhaps a cup of coffee, a flock of birds, chirping of beautiful birds nearby your houses, the kindness of a stranger, love of your younger brothers or family members. Recall that God is revealed in each of these details. God is present in these smaller, minute things. We must think, therefore, about the gifts you were able to give to others. When they came to you, when they approached you, when they shared with you, when they give you warmth and love, what did you do to them? Perhaps an encouraging word, a smile, or a work you have accomplished today. Maybe helping out your parents, maybe doing a creative activity, writing a poem, maybe painting, maybe gardening, maybe cooking. Any of these when you are at home. Maybe online classes you have been studying so well and you have studied that this day very well. Think about it. Review about every minute activities you have done today. The third step is pray for the Spirit of truth. Prepare yourself to guide you into all truth. Prepare yourself to be honest as you examine your actions during the day, knowing that the truth will free you to grow closer to God the Almighty. Recall the unconditional love you are experiencing through your parents, your mother, your father, your brothers and sisters, your teachers, and the elders whom you know, and the events that are happening all around us. There is an unconditional love you are experiencing. Bring that alive in your mind. That's the third point. And the fourth point you must reflect is, how are you open to God's presence, the events of the day? Examine how you responded to it or not responded to it. You must bring out clearly in your mind when you experience love. Were you loving also? When did you miss an opportunity to love, to help, to be a service to others? When were you sinful? At least some sinful tendencies that crept into your mind? How much were you in change of your actions? Is there a change in your attitude? And what did you do out a simple habit? Pay attention of your emotions. What emotions were predominantly coming to you? Is it anger? Is it sadness? Is it sorrow? Is it joyfulness? What is the emotion that is coming to you? Saint Ignatius taught that when the Holy Spirit speaks to us through our emotions, He speaks even through the negative ones. What truth might God be leading you through your emotions today? And the fifth and the final point is this: respond in prayer to the insights revealed in the previous steps. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 steps I told you. You may want to imagine this as a friendly face-to-face meeting with God. Whatever it is. Do you want to ask for forgiveness for your mistakes? consolation, encouragement, the grace to overcome bad habits, and direction for how to grow closer to God and people and nature. Continue to listen your inner voice. It is telling you something. I think examination of consciousness is important for us to overcome from the depression, anxiety, worries. These things happen to us because we are not in touch with ourselves. We don't know what is going on in deep within. We don't have silence and deep inward journey in our lives. Many of us are afraid of spending time alone, solitude. I think here is an opportunity for simple tool for us to make our life qualitatively better. Practice it, make it a habit, and you will see your life will be bettering day by day. Have daily examination of conscience, examine of consciousness, that will overcome the difficulties of children, especially during the pandemic crisis which we are facing unprecedentedly. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.